If you want all of your data in one place, you need the Intuit ERP. I'm Damon John, and I run my growing business on Intuit Enterprise Suite. Learn more at intuit.com/ERP.
This is True Crime Tradies. Listener discretion is advised. Pussies.
Hey everybody, welcome back to True Crime Tradies. I am Chris, and with me as always is JB. How you going, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. How you going?
Going really well, really well. It's been a nice little week at work. Bit cold, but it's been good to get the blood moving, which has been nice.
Yeah, it has actually. It's been a bit of a scramble for us this week too, because at the end of our last episode, I mentioned I had to do a bit of a separate recording of us, and I mentioned we had to scramble because the Netflix announced that they were doing the Idaho murders, and we thought, fuck, we have to change paths, and we have to scramble for this episode. But I just wanted to say, did you want to meet one of my new favorite people?
Oh, I'm very excited. What have you got?
Blow up bitch Chris.
What is that?
Well, it's a blow up doll with that's wearing a bikini.
Oh, okay, very accurate.
And it's got your face sticky taped to the front of it. And it's actually one of my favorite photos of you. Can you tell what that photo is from?
Oh, yeah, that's when when our client messaged us from India asking us to water her plants while she was away.
Exactly.
While we're at the house, we didn't make a special trip to go fucking water her flowers.
No, that's right. It was like a 40-degree day, and I've come up behind you and took a photo of you without you knowing that I was going to do so. And this was the face that you gave me, this not happy Jan face.
No, it was fucking hot as that day. I just wanted to go home, and then all of a sudden, oh God, we've got to fucking water these plants.
Water the plants. Anyway,
Jesus.
So blow up bitch Chris got introduced at the end of last episode, just to finish the episode off with me, and that's the first time you're seeing it. So.
It is, yeah. Very intrigued.
Couldn't help myself, and I've got to say, he's been quite good to me in the last 24 hours.
Oh Jesus! Don't know what you've been doing with that doll.
It's for me to know and you to find out.
So was this your first time watching Lucy Letby?
It has. I only knew probably little bits of the case from I'd listened to maybe an investigation on it leading up to the trial, but it was a bit of a boring podcast, so I didn't really take too much of it in. And so watching it, not really knowing much about it, it was really good to see Netflix take me on a journey like they always do.
Yeah, they're good at that. Yeah.
Oh, sons of bitches they are.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I know this one here, I mean, I didn't know a lot about the case or a lot of the details about the case, I should say. But I know that a lot of people were divided whether she was innocent or she did what she's done. And that got me thinking about different false imprisonment cases. And there's one that I knew about, and it's kind of stuck out to me, this one in particular. And this one was back from when you were born, actually, in 1944.
Go on.
Sorry, that was a joke. JB's born in 1945. Yeah. This one is about a young 14-year-old African-American boy named George Stinney. And he was arrested for a double murder of 11-year-old Betty Binnicker and 8-year-old Mary Tames. And these girls are both white girls, so it's important to the story as well. Okay. And these girls, they were just riding past his house on their bikes picking flowers, and they briefly spoke to George. George ended up getting arrested for both of these girls' brutal murders. They were beaten to death. He wasn't actually allowed to see or speak to his parents after his arrest, and only 1 month later, after his arrest, he had his trial, conviction, and sentence on the very same day. George was found guilty and sentenced to death by electric chair only 6 weeks later. And poor George, he was actually too short for the electric chair, so they made him sit on a stack of Bibles, and he was just sobbing the entire time with tears streaming down his face. And it wasn't until 70 years after George's execution, the case was re-looked at and his sentence was vacated. It was proven that he didn't do it.
Holy shit. Did you say 1944?
Yeah.
Whereabouts was this?
Somewhere in America. I can't remember the state.
How old was he?
He was 14.
He was 14.
He was 14. The jury was all white people. There was actually only whites allowed in the courthouse. They banned all African Americans from the courthouse, even though there was a huge swarm of African Americans protesting right outside the front doors. And the jury only took 10 minutes.
God, what
to
hope
come up
did
with
he
a
have?
verdict.
African American in 1944.
Yeah. Poor kid. He wasn't allowed to see or speak to his parents at all. And his defense lawyer or his defense attorney didn't provide any statements, didn't call any witnesses, nothing. He just sat there.
Fuck. Well, that's terrible. Thanks for that.
No worries.
We're about to go into a really jovial and fun case, and you throw that curveball at me right beforehand. How am I supposed to be all happy and cheery throughout this baby murder case now?
Wasn't much of a palate cleanser,
Son of a
no.
bitch.
So,
No.
Now that you're all nice and depressed, actually, I just want to quickly mention as well, we've got voice message
Thingy.
thingies. Yeah, voice message
If you
thingy
can't think of the word, just say
now.
thingy. It works for everything.
It covers everything, yeah. So you guys can jump on our social media. The link is in our link tree, which you'll find on both of our Instagram and Facebook, or it'll be in the show notes just under the Buy Me a Coffee donation link as well. And you guys can call us up, and it's a 90-second voice message that you can leave us just about anything. You can talk about the show, you can talk about yourselves, you can talk about ours. Yep, more the merrier. And we'll play it on an upcoming episode. We definitely want to get more interaction with the listeners happening, and this is a great way as well. We want to hear from you guys, so we're definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, this is going to be awesome, man, because it's free. So just jump on there, say whatever you want to say. And I'm really looking forward to hearing some opinions on the show. I want to hear that they like me more than they like you. And
There'll be zero of that.
But I also want to hear some I don't know, negativity as well. I think that's always a bit of fun. Someone doesn't like something about us, I want to hear about it.
Oh, really? No,
Yeah.
not me. No.
Not you?
Skin's too thin.
Bit of a
Don't
sensi.
do it, people.
A bit of a sensi.
You're
But
see a grown man
that
cry.
is going to be a good time. So yeah, jump on there. You can do it on your phone just through the website. So it's really simple to do.
Very,
You get
very
an
simple.
email notification of it, and yeah, can't wait to chuck these into the end of the episodes and give some shout outs to people.
Yeah, and if you're thinking, oh, should I, shouldn't I? Just do it. We love it.
Do it,
We really love it.
motherfuckers. Yeah, exactly. So I suppose we should get into today's show. What do you think?
Yeah, sounds good, mate. Looking forward to this one.
Yep. All right. Well, as we said, we are doing the investigation of Lucy Letby, and you can find this documentary on Netflix.
Can you come in a bit?
We need to speak to you. I'm arresting you on suspicion of murder and attempted murder.
Detectives took a female into custody on suspicion of murdering 8 babies.
And the attempted murder of 6 others.
Don't look, let's go in.
Introduce yourself, please.
Lucy Letby.
It's a once-in-a-generation type case.
Babies kept dying.
This nurse had a central role. We needed to arrest her.
We interviewed her over numerous hours. We'd uncovered some concerning pieces of evidence.
He wrote a note saying I killed them on purpose. No comment.
Lucy Letby has been found guilty
Of murdering 7 newborn children.
Did this unassuming nurse really kill babies in her care?
The only person who knows truly why is Lucy Letby herself.
But when you delve deeper, things were not so straightforward.
Felt like I'd only ever done my best for those babies.
There was no motive. None.
This is probably the most evil.
Serial killer.
We don't think she killed those babies.
I don't think she's done it.
There was misdiagnosis. A young woman could die in prison for the wrong reason.
I don't think there was a miscarriage of justice, but no one actually saw her do it.
Someone intentionally harmed these babies.
This evidence was pointing towards Lucy Letby.
There was a poisoner on the ward.
It looked beautiful. It was all just spiraling out of control.
It's July 2018 in Chester, England. Police arrive at the residence of 28-year-old neonatal nurse Lucy Letby. And despite the extremely friendly knock at the door, they aren't there for a cup of tea and a bicky. I'd actually prefer
we didn't take long to jump into the accents.
about 2.5 seconds. I think I'd rather a scone. I don't know about you. You impartial to a cup of tea and a bicky?
No, I like a bicky. Yeah,
I love a scone. Yeah. Well, so they're not there for friendlies. Police are there to arrest Lucy for the murder and attempted murder of 18 babies.
I know it's upsetting. I'll give it there.
It's Lucy. Yeah. Can you come in, okay? Hello. You okay? Yeah.
Hi, Lucy. Sorry that we've come round so early and woken you up. I'm from Chester MIT, the major investigation team. I'm arresting you on suspicion of murder and attempted murder. You didn't have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something which you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. I appreciate it's quite a shock. What we need for you to do now, Lucy, is we need for you to get up and get yourself dressed.
Could the police be more polite? So, I'm sorry to say, you're arrested. I understand it's quite the shock. No rush. Cuddle the cat. Have a counter meal at the pub. And then we'll head off to the station, all right?
Mate, they were honestly so polite. It's like, oh, sorry for the inconvenience, Lucy. Sorry. And we've mentioned how polite the British police are in previous episodes as well. Could you imagine if this was America? Like, they would have fucking SWAT vans smashing windows. Get on the ground, fucking...
Show me your fucking
Lucifer.
Lucifer. But before we get into what this Catch You Next Tuesday did, we have to go back to the start, okay? It is June 2015. Hospital staff begin noticing an unusual increase in unexpected collapses. Now, collapses is just like some sort of medical episode, and deaths among babies in this unit. It's around about this time we hear about baby D, but that sounds so wrong. So the documentary named her Zoe. I think all these babies, the anonymity around it with the court case, they just lettered them. It just seems wrong. I don't know. Don't like that. So I like that the documentary named her Zoe.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. Her mother, Sarah, had some complications giving birth, but doctors reassured her that Zoe was doing just fine. She was responding well to the treatments administered by the doctors and nursing staff. But around 4 a.m., Sarah is startled awake by the nurses telling her that there's something wrong with Zoe, and she is raced into the ICU. Sarah witnesses doctors trying to revive baby Zoe, but all efforts were futile, and she was pronounced deceased right there in front of Sarah.
The doctor was still holding Zoe, but he stopped what he was doing. That was it. It was finished. It was over. My husband and I, he just broke down, and we were just saying, what's going on? What's just happened?
Doctors were absolutely baffled by Zoe's death. She had shown no sign of deterioration and was doing quite well after initially just having some breathing issues during the birth. But it wasn't just the death of Zoe that was concerning. There had been 3 deaths of newborns within a 3-week period in this unit of the hospital. The babies had developed a strange rash, and they didn't really respond to resuscitation like the doctors would expect them to. They are hoping this was just a bit of a coincidence, but by February there had been 9 deaths, which, based on statistics, that was a very high number. You know, they are scratching their heads, and when 2 babies died in consecutive days in June of 2016, things came to a head, and by this stage, there were 13 unexpected deaths. It's now May 2017, so we have jumped a fair bit here, but the hospital knows something isn't quite right. You know, this isn't normal, and a police investigation begins.
My initial thoughts are maybe that's probably a little bit premature to try and identify a suspect. There could have been any number of legitimate explanations for why so many babies had died. Were there mistakes made at the hospital? Was there an uncontrolled infectious disease? Or could these babies have died naturally?
We needed to understand the medical circumstances that each of these babies had been through. So it was crucial that we got independent, credible medical experts who could give us an objective view of these babies that had collapsed unexpectedly.
We now meet one of the most British blokes you've ever met. He's sitting in this fucking room in his chair, and all the walls are wallpapered, the ugly lamps in the background. Yeah. So his name is Dr. Dewey Evans. I don't think it's pronounced Dewey, but you know what I'm like
Dewey,
with names.
though. It's like Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah.
That's what he's been up to.
So Dr. Dewey Evans, his job title is prosecution expert witness. So he's basically a professional dibber-dobber. And he is very interested in this case indeed. He hears about the unexplained deaths of all these newborns and he's like, sounds like my kind of case. Righto.
You had me a dead baby. Baby.
I just pictured him as Austin Powers with his... Oh, God. So he's looking at all the photos of these deceased babies and he notices there's these big marble-sized blood clots under the liver and bleeding in the abdomen. These findings were consistent with the majority of these babies. So he requested to see all the case notes from the police over the last 2-year period, and he noticed a suspicious event in about half the deaths, and he concluded that someone had intentionally harmed these babies. Police realize, oh shit, this is legit, and they start looking into the roster system at the hospital to see if they can find a pattern. And by golly gosh, Chris, they find one.
By golly gosh. You're turning British.
When we were looking at the information, a clear pattern emerged.
Out of 25 suspicious deaths and collapses, one name continued to come out consistently.
This nurse had a central role in all these events, and that was Lucy Letby.
So Lucy Letby studied child nursing at the University of Chester, completing clinical placements at Liverpool Women's Hospital and the Countess of Chester Hospital. Fuck, this is a mouthful.
She graduated, very well, I must say.
Oh, thank you. She graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Nursing in 2011 with a speciality in child nursing in September 2011 and completed a further placement at Liverpool Women's Hospital the following year. Lucy began working as a registered nurse at the neonatal unit at the Countess of Chester Hospital on the 2nd of January 2012.
So she was very, very qualified for this job.
Yeah, it looks like she'd done really well at school. You know, she sort of just busted away and she's now working at this really, I think, recognized hospital for really sick babies.
Yeah.
So she was actually described as really competent, but she was unremarkable. She was quiet. She just didn't stand out, which probably means that she just did her job well. She just did her thing.
Yeah.
But once all these deaths started to occur, she stood out like dog's balls because she was the only staff member on shift for every single one of these unexplained deaths. Based on this revelation, they talk to the head nurse and she rejects the idea completely that not only Lucy would be involved in the deaths, but any of the nurses. She just couldn't comprehend that. And I mean, how could anyone fathom that?
Yeah, exactly. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, you have an idea of what a potential baby killer would look like. And none of these nurses that work for this head nurse would appear like that. They'd all be very, very caring. So no wonder she'd say, no, none of my nurses.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So the majority of these deaths were occurring at night. So in the wisdom of the staff of the hospital, they moved Lucy to daytime duties just to see what would happen. And well, wouldn't you know it, the deaths on night shift immediately stop. But I bet you can't guess what happened during the daytime, Chris. Yep, your mate, Lucy, was just as evil during the day as she was at night.
Why is she my mate all of a sudden?
Yeah, your mate. I know what you're like. It's at this point the hospital decides to remove Lucy Letby from the neonatal unit. And not long after police decide to kick her door in and arrest her, not really, they politely ask to speak with her first.
Lucy, I need you to listen to me very, very carefully. I'm going to read out some information to you now, okay? You think it's important you listen to me. Between March 2015 and July 2016, the neonatal at the Countess of Chester Hospital experienced high mortality rate of babies in their care. Following an internal review in the Countess of Chester Hospital, the case was referred to Chester Police, who are conducting an investigation. As a result of the inquiries and evidence gathered during this investigation, the offences of murder and attempted murder have been identified, and you have been identified as a suspect of these offences. Got a caution, you don't have to say anything, but it may harm the defence not mentioned when questioned, something which you later line in court. Anything you do say may be given evidence, and the arrest is necessary for the prompt and effective investigation of the offence and to protect the child or other vulnerable person. Do you understand what I've just read out to you? Lucy, what's going to happen now is you're going to have to go to the police station to be questioned about these allegations.
So Lucy looks quite befuddled throughout being read her rights and strangely defeated. She asked if she could say goodbye to her cat, and it's almost as if she knows she's never going to see this cat again.
Yeah, I'm so glad you mentioned that, because to me, any innocent person would just be thinking, oh, they're just going for an interview, they'll be back in a couple of hours, no dramas. But it's almost like she thought, oh, they've finally caught up with me, and this is her last day of freedom. Well, that's the sort of the image that it gave me when she was saying goodbye to her cat. She looked very emotional.
Yeah, she's a deer in headlights. She just looks resigned to the fact she's not coming back. She's quite emotional at times throughout, but something wasn't quite right about her. So the victims' families, they're notified of the arrest, and they are absolutely gobsmacked. And the news of the arrest hits the local news.
Today's arrest confirms the dreadful possibility that newborns might have been murdered.
Lucy is interviewed by police, but they want to get the truth, but at the same time, they want to give her an opportunity to provide an alternate explanation of how all these deaths occurred. She seems like I said before, she just seems like a deer in headlights throughout the interview, but she's eerily calm. And she's able to answer all the questions with confidence regarding her job title, the processes regarding how they look after the babies and everything like that. But while she was good at explaining all that, her role, etc., she was not good at explaining her actions or movements around about the time of the collapses of the babies. And she would start to become evasive with police. Her responses really seemed to be thought out. She'd get asked a question and she would remain silent for 5 seconds or so. She'd just be looking down, but then look up and answer. But the majority of her answers were, I don't remember.
Yeah, anytime it involved one of the babies in question, it was always, I don't remember.
No.
But then they'd ask her other questions, she'd answer no dramas.
That's exactly right.
Just prior to the collapse, Lucy, had you had any cause to go into nursery one at all?
I don't remember.
Right. Were you working in nursery one?
I don't think I was, but I don't recall which baby I was looking after.
Okay. And you don't remember the process of how you ended up in nursery one with the reasons?
So despite being in custody for hours, police didn't have enough to charge her, and she was released pending further inquiries. And what's interesting here is that they arrest her, interview her, but just let her go without a charge because of lack of evidence.
Yeah.
You'd think they would just interview her, seeing if there's anything they can get from her before arresting her. Because I can only imagine being arrested, she would have had her guard up during the interview. So it's an interesting tactic.
Yeah, I felt it quite unnecessary because she also sent an email to the lead detective asking when she's going to be interviewed because all of her colleagues had already been spoken to. And I think she even titled the email Operation Hummingbird, which hadn't been made public. Mm-hmm. So it seems like she found this out accidentally, or she's paying very close attention to the investigation.
Yeah. She'd also mentioned in the email that she wants to, she wants to reduce her anxiety because I think she's thinking, oh, you've spoken to all my colleagues. How come they haven't come and spoken to me yet? So she was trying to get on the front foot with it. But I just wasn't sure of the police's motives behind just arresting her and not just doing a simple interview like you see a lot of the times with these. And it is legal for them to arrest her on multiple occasions.
Yeah,
just because they arrest her. Yeah, it's not like a double jeopardy thing. They can arrest her, let her go, then arrest her again.
Yeah, it just felt unnecessary, especially when she was putting her hand up saying, I'm willing to have a chat whenever you guys want to.
Exactly.
Lucy Letby was in custody for many hours, but we did not gather enough evidence to charge her. And there was lots of information still to find out. So after the interview, Lucy Letby was bailed, which gave us a chance to gather further expert evidence and take a really forensic look at the materials we found on the searches.
So police had conducted a search of Lucy's home, and within a box on a shelf labelled Keep, police found what they call baby handover sheets. So these sheets had details of a lot of different babies, but all the deceased babies were on there as well, like personal details, along with an overview of their medical condition at the time. But also located within her house were diaries and post-it notes with these troubling scribbles, to the point police felt like she should be arrested for a second time for further questioning. This is where we see the footage from the start of the documentary. Lucy is arrested and taken back to the station. And again, to see if she has a reasonable explanation for what has occurred. And now is the time for her to do that. But police are going to press her on the evidence that she couldn't dispute.
Your home address was searched and a large quantity of these handover sheets were found at your home address. Can you explain that?
They're just sheets that have inadvertently come home with me in my pocket. I felt empty my pockets before coming home.
Explain to me why you put them all together in a folder.
I didn't know how to dispose of them myself and dispose of them.
You didn't know how to dispose of them?
No.
Have you previously taken any of these handover sheets home and disposed of them?
No, I didn't.
So this bullshit excuse she gives here of just like, I'll just get home, I empty my pockets. Like, it doesn't fly, you know, because these handover sheets that they were talking about before, she'd stored them in chronological order in this keep box. So Lucy was methodical and meticulous. And so these answers she's giving doesn't really make sense. So when questioned regarding the disposal of these handover sheets, Lucy said she would never have done them at home because she doesn't have a shredder, and that's how she would need to dispose of them while she was at work. But then when police searched her home, located in one of the bedrooms, tucked behind some suitcases, mind you, they find a shredder. And I'm not talking about the Asian baddie from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Police suspect that she has been keeping...
What a throwback.
Police suspect she's been keeping these handover sheets as, and this is sickening, as some kind of memento.
Yeah, this was really damning for me. Like, no way she accidentally brought home all of these documents. I think there's like 250 of them or something like that. And in, what did you say, in chronological order as well?
Yeah.
No way.
No way. No. And I'm also guilty of coming home from work. I think I got like 5 to 10 pencils and like bits and like screws and shit on my nightstand because I go, oh, fuck, I've left these in my pocket, and I just dump them and then they stay there forever, and my wife hates it. But yeah, there's no way that you would do that, stick them on the table and go, oh shit, I've accidentally brought that home. I could either destroy it now, burn it, whatever, or take it back to work the next day.
Even if you accidentally brought 1 or 2 home, you'd go, oh shit, I better not do that again, because she wasn't allowed to. 250 of them? Come on, mate.
Come on, mate. Yeah. So that wasn't the only incriminating evidence. Other incriminating evidence found at her house were these diaries that I mentioned earlier. So within the pages, police found that on certain dates, she had written down initials that matched the babies that had collapsed on those dates. So she had admitted doing this in a way of just dealing with it because she didn't like to talk about it with anyone. But when it came to evidence found in a bag in her garage, that's when the old no comment comes into play.
Very convenient.
During the second lot of searches, we located a black bin bag in her garage. There was a piece of paper with some concerning notes written upon it. I'm going to read you an extract from it, and it says, murderer, murder. No one will ever know what happened and why. Explain these comments to me, Lucy.
No comment.
Tell me about the comment, murderer.
No comment.
Are you suggesting there that you are a murderer?
No comment.
Tell me about no one will ever know what happened and why.
No comment.
What does that mean, Lucy?
No comment.
So this bitch is cooked now. And the detective points out to Lucy that since her departure at the hospital, a total of, get this, 887 babies with a gestation period of over 32 weeks have been through her old unit, and not one of those babies have died or deteriorated. And that is telling. Lucy is told that the evidence shows that the only person present for all the 25 collapses and 17 deaths was her, and it suggests that she is responsible. Lucy shows no emotion or remorse, but despite what the evidence shows here, Lucy's bailed again.
I don't understand what's going on there.
No, neither do I. I guess they're just trying to they want to make this case airtight. But after looking at everything, compiling the evidence, talking to witnesses, police conclude that Lucy Letby is the sole person responsible for these murders, and she is arrested for a third time. Mrs. Mangle next door must be beside herself. The bobbies are back again, Gerald. I just knew something wasn't right. Quiet ones are always the worst.
I think we used the name Gerald for the neighbour in the what was it, the Dennis Nielsen case too.
Is Gerald a popular name in the UK?
I don't know. Did you use it on purpose, or was that just accidental?
No, it's top of my head, Gerald.
That's crazy. Poor old Mrs. Mangle and Gerald are living right in the middle of Lucy Letby and British serial killer Dennis Nielsen. She'd fucking love it though. Ooh, Gerald, it feels like we're living in the Coronation Street. It's our own soap opera.
Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, they're going to be characters that come back on the show quite regularly.
Oh, good. I hope so. We're going to get T-shirts with Gerald on the
front. Love it. So Lucy is, again, read her rights. She's placed in handcuffs. And
she knows the spiel.
She knows the spiel. She's driven to the station, and 24 hours later, so it's a little bit different this time, she was charged with 8 counts of murder and 10 counts of attempted murder. She spent a total of 23 months in custody awaiting trial.
Opening the prosecution case, Nicholas Johnson KC told the jury the collapse and deaths of the 17 children were not naturally occurring tragedies. They were the work of the woman in the dock.
She wore a light grey top and dark grey trousers and spoke only to
The Hulu original series, Furious, now streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+.
There are 3 victims we know of. The suspect is female, white, late 20s.
Female serial killers kill for power, control.
I believe there's a deeper motivation here.
You have no idea who you're dealing with, and you are going to end up dead.
I've been waiting for you.
Watch the Hulu original series, Furious, now streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+ for bundle subscribers. Terms apply.
Her name.
So, of course, this case had created a media frenzy. The British tabloids are all over this like flies on shit. And there was about 50 to 60 journalists from all around the world covering this case. The prosecution's opening statement was in excess of 90 pages long. They alleged that there was a number of ways Lucy inflicted harm on these babies, ranging from physical trauma to the stomach and throat. She removed airway tubes, and she would also overfeed them to restrict the baby's breathing. Just Jesus. Horrible. Yeah. Lucy gets on the stand, which is surprising to me, and she could recall 17 of the 18 babies that were under her care, with baby Zoe being the one she couldn't recall. Dr. Dewey Evans explained that there was no reason why Zoe would suddenly deteriorate, let alone collapse. Zoe had some skin discoloration that the nurses and the doctors had never seen before. That, along with this air bubble in her blood vessel, which creates some sort of airlock, and
right,
it sort of stops the circulation of air through the body. So there was this old study by these doctors in the 80s, and they had discovered that air in the circulation causes this discoloration on the skin that was found on baby Zoe and on a number of the other babies that had died under Lucy's care. So they can surmise it had to have been from injecting air into the babies.
Yeah.
So the defense argued that these babies were ill. It makes sense. They're there for a reason. And the issues during birth leading them to be in the neonatal unit was the reason for all these collapses and deaths. And they couldn't prove that Lucy had injected air into these babies. But the prosecution hit back, saying that it was impossible for air bubbles to enter the baby's veins through the intravenous thingy. Remember I was saying before to say thingy if you can't think of the term?
Perfect.
That's the technical term, thingy. And it would have had to have occurred intentionally via an injection of air. Another point of interest throughout the trial was text messages Lucy was sent to other nurses to notify them of the deaths, including how the parents reacted. That was weird. Police found it interesting considering she couldn't remember any of the collapses these babies suffered, even though after the fact she would go into great details, like letting the other nurses know about it. Lucy had even searched for the parents of the deceased babies on Facebook.
Yeah.
And all I can think of is that she was looking to see if they had posted their grief online, and somehow she gets off on that.
Yeah, that was so bizarre. Like, I was thinking the exact same thing. Like, was it to reach out to express her condolences or to watch their suffering? Like, that's a good point. It was odd to me.
But the thing is, you say reach out, to condolence. She would have been there when the parents were there.
Exactly.
So she could have done that in person there.
Yeah, and
so
I'm sure she did.
Yeah, why Facebook stalk them?
Yeah, and I think she only searched them up as well. Like, she didn't message them on Facebook either. So she was just looking. So.
Yeah. So the problem is for the prosecution so far is that a lot of this evidence, or pretty much all of it, is circumstantial. Police needed concrete evidence to bury this bitch, and they found 2 incidences where Lucy had administered insulin to 2 babies when they didn't need it. So when insulin is not required, it can cause coma and even death. Lucy and the defense couldn't really deny this, but when asked who had administered the insulin, the answer was, "It wasn't me. It was the one-armed man."
What accent was that?
It was from The Mask, Drew Carey.
Oh, really?
You thought Drew Carey had appeared in front of you just then.
Drew Carey? Or Jim Carrey?
Drew Carey?
Yeah.
Fuck me. Play the audio.
Letby's defence team struggled to counter that.
When you look at all the evidence that was presented, objectively, it couldn't have been anyone else.
Answer the question again to you, did you administer insulin? No. Because the experts think someone has. You were caring for him.
I didn't.
Do you know who did?
No.
Now the jury had evidence of a baby who had been deliberately poisoned with some substance. To use the vernacular, it was a smoking gun.
So another damning piece of evidence was found on the pages and post-it notes filled with the ramblings of a madman Lucy had scrawled all over these pages. It looked like something out of a horror movie, with phrases like, "I killed them," "I'm evil," "I did this," "I don't deserve to live," "I killed them on purpose," "I am a horrible, evil person." But when challenged on this during the interview, she just said, "No comment."
Yeah, they were super, super damning, these notes. I found transcribed versions of them online. And as you said, it does look like an insane person wrote them, but it appears that they've been written in 3 different portions. So one section on the left, one section on the right, which was written on a bit of an angle, and then just like large, bold words on the other side.
Okay.
So the first portion reads, "There are no words. I can't breathe. I can't focus. Overwhelming fear and panic. I haven't done anything wrong. police investigation, slander, discrimination, victimization, all getting too much, taking over my life. I feel alone and scared. What does the future hold? How can I get through it? How will things ever be like they used to be? They won't. I don't deserve to live. I killed them on purpose because I'm not good enough to care for them. I'm a horrible, evil person. The world is better without me. I am evil. I did this. The second portion that was written on the right-hand side, that's a little bit shorter. It says, I am an awful person. I pay every day for right now. Don't know what that means. I'll never have children or marry. I'll never know what it's like to have a family. I hate myself so much for what this has. There's a word you can't really make out. Mm-hmm. I don't deserve Mum, Dad, Tom, or Matt. And then the third portion, which, as I said, is just all words in capitals written down the side. They read, no hope, desperate, panic, fear, lost, why me, hate, which was very, very bold and circled around, and then I did this.
Do you see, like, from hearing that, do you see confessions or anything like that in there?
I'm glad I looked more into that note, because what they put in the documentary, I thought, oh, well, she's just done a small post-it note that says, I did this, I'm evil. But then reading that, it seems like a lot of sort of just random thoughts on there.
Yeah.
It's almost like she's had a therapy session. They said, just anything you're feeling, write down, get it out.
Yeah.
It does seem random, and there's totally different feelings and emotions in there.
Yeah, and also if these babies had died in her care, she would feel responsible. So she might consider herself evil. Oh, I think evil's a bit strong, even if you are blaming yourself. That's the weird one for me. Evil.
Yeah,
like,
you'll feel a certain amount of guilt, but then to say, I did this, I am evil, that's a totally different level to me.
That's it. Yeah. All right. I'm sure that this comes up a bit later on in the episode, but the trial for now, it has concluded, and it's now time for the jury to do their thing. All the prosecution and the victims can do is wait. It is torture for them, but before too long, a verdict is reached.
We want to bring you this very urgent breaking news.
Lucy Letby has been found guilty
of murdering 7 babies, of attempting to murder 6 others.
Calculating, cunning, cruel, cowardly serial killer Lucy Letby.
Tonight she eclipses Myra Hindley and Beverly Allett to become the worst child murderer in British modern history.
After a 10-month trial, Lucy Letby has now been found guilty.
This is probably the most evil woman I've ever heard of.
The most prolific child serial killer of modern times.
So unfortunately, there's no video or audio of the court proceedings at all in this, but Lucy Letby is found guilty of 7 of the 8 murders and 6 of the 10 attempted murder charges. She is rightfully handed a life sentence. And this is where you think the documentary would end. But hold on to your chins, Chris. It ain't over by a long shot. Yeah. Hold on to those bad boys.
Go! Sorry for anyone watching in video just then.
Feel sorry for me. It's 2024, and criminal defense barrister Mark MacDonald, he was deeply concerned about the way this case played out. He is on Team Lucy, just like you have been the whole time. And he's got this heart tattoo on his chest with her name within a scroll. And he's going to do everything in his power to reverse this miscarriage of justice.
Having followed the Lucy Letby case from the moment of arrest and seen this play out, as a barrister, I was deeply concerned. We have to remember, no one saw her do anything wrong. There's no CCTV. There was no motive. None.
Mark was flabbergasted. The defense in her trial didn't call any expert witnesses to the stand, but the other thing was the notes Lucy had written. We just talked about them. Lucy had expressed in her interview with police that she had written those words because she felt guilty about the deaths. Not that she was admitting to guilt or responsibility, but that she may have, within her practices, inadvertently caused the deaths of these babies. And I have to say, fucking Netflix were very good at showing us a version of Lucy that made her look guilty as fuck. And now we're seeing this version of Lucy that looks heartbroken and full of empathy.
They do it every time. They make you sway.
Exactly. So these so-called confession notes were a result, and you mentioned this earlier, of therapy that she had received shortly after being dismissed of her duties in the neonatal unit. This, in the defense's mind, was a plausible excuse and shouldn't be looked at as direct evidence. But get ready to don your tinfoil hat, Chris, because in mid-2024, a journalist in America for the New Yorker magazine published an article which pointed the finger directly at the Countess of Chester Hospital.
And what the article did was sow the seeds of doubt, asking the ultimate question, was this unit fit for purpose? And was Lucy Letby being used as a scapegoat? This was a unit in crisis. Nurses were crying at the end of the shift because of the stress, because of them being overworked, because of them having so many babies on the unit and not having the staff or the resources to run it.
Mark is picking apart the prosecution's evidence, and he argues that the reason for Lucy always being there at the time of the collapse was just for the fact that she was the most qualified nurse on shift. She would have to look after she had all the sickest babies in the unit, and she would often do extra shifts. He says that it would have been unusual for her not to be there. So I know what you're thinking, Chris, but JB, when she stopped working in the unit, the baby stopped dying. Well, Marky Mark has an answer for that too. When Lucy left the unit was downgraded, meaning that the unit was no longer receiving the sickest babies, meaning the mortality rates were always going to drop regardless.
Yeah, and that's true and a good point, but the year prior to Lucy working in the neonatal unit, there was only 3 deaths compared to the 13 in the year that Lucy was there.
Yeah.
So that statistic stands out to me. The other one afterwards, how they downgraded, I think that's irrelevant. Like it's 2 different types of hospitals now, or wards. But before Lucy was there and while Lucy was there, 3 versus 13, that stands out to me.
Yeah, it stands out for me too. Yeah, so, well, look, Mark's just trying to do his best for her, and he puts his crusader cape on, and he starts appearing on news segments, wanting the whole world to know about this miscarriage of justice.
I felt that it was important to expose the flaws in what had taken place. But to be able to do that, I needed to change the narrative.
I'm joined now by Mark MacDonald.
Mark MacDonald joins us now.
I think I've got quite a lot of evidence to say that there are some real concerns here. Suddenly, it started to mushroom.
Lucy Letby was convicted of murdering 7 infants and attempting to murder 7 more, which in my view is a clear miscarriage of justice by a judicial system that could not manage admittedly difficult statistical and medical scientific evidence.
So Mark also has a big bone.
End of sentence.
I paused there on purpose. He has a big bone to pick with our mate Dewey, and a Court of Appeal judge wrote a scathing email to the trial judge saying that the expert testimony given by Dr. Dewey Evans made no effort to provide a balanced opinion, and he would tailor his evidence depending on who was instructing him. Basically meaning he's just a biased son of a bitch, you know. Problem is that the Court of Appeal said that all of a sudden now they're saying that he was a reliable witness, though. So Mark is going to have to either find naked photos of Dewey or he's going to have to disprove what he was saying. He wants to see his big bone. Mark doesn't want to talk to the expert that read the book, yeah? He wants to talk to the bloke that wrote the book. And he chases down this is fucking hard for me to say, please. Neonatologist? I think I nailed it.
Oh, well done, sir.
Thank you. Professor Shu Li, and I'll set the scene for you here.
Very good at done without
what?
The slight accent on the Shu Li.
Oh, I'll just pronounce the accent. I don't know what you want from me. You know, I'm going to set this scene for you here. This is really good in the documentary. You know the movies where they need the retired guy to help save the country and the helicopter comes flying in over the top while the retired hero is chopping wood? That's exactly what this scene looks like, barring the helicopter and the need to save the country, but you get the gist of it. Professor Shu Li He is living the good life in Canada when he hears about this case.
I think you're referring to the movie Commando, weren't you?
I think it was
Pretty
Commando,
sure that's the helicopter,
but,
and he's carrying a big log on his shoulder. I was expecting Shu Li to bust out an Arnold Schwarzenegger accent. Okay, I'll do it. Can you do an Arnie voice?
Get to the chopper. No,
I knew you were going to do that line.
A paper that I had written in 1989 on air embolism had been used to convict a nurse in an ICU in the UK. I was worried because if my paper had been misinterpreted, then we've got a big problem on our hands. I looked at the evidence and I realized that they did not describe the kind of skin discoloration that were diagnostic of air embolism. What they had described was skin discoloration due to hypoxia or lack of oxygen. This means that the conviction was potentially wrong. I was very troubled. Potentially a young woman could be in jail for the rest of her life and to die in prison for the wrong reason.
So, God damn it, Netflix. I'm calling her a catch you next Tuesday just like 30 minutes ago, and now I just don't know what to think. Professor Shu Li tells Mark that he will assist in the case, and he was going to convene a panel of 14 of the top experts around the world. And I'm picturing a Captain Planet scenario thing here, or they combine all the rings together and this panel just assembles. So the aim of this panel of experts was to create a detailed report about the causes of death or injury in each of these cases.
What have you been watching Saturday mornings? Because you've done a throwback to Ninja Turtles and now Captain Planet.
You can tell I'm an 80s kid, can't you?
Yeah.
Police, actually, they welcomed this challenge from Mark. And in February 2025, the defense, this is really weird, by the way, the defense presents their case and declared that none of the babies were harmed by an individual, but rather the substandard care given by the hospital. And when I say it was really weird, it was the fact that it was just some sort of media announcement. Like they had a panel and they just invited a bunch of journalists and that was them presenting their case. It wasn't like they were in some sort of high court of appeal or anything. It was just like, this is what we've found, and they're hoping that the media is going to put enough pressure on the court of appeal to reopen the case.
Yeah, I didn't like this part. I think one of the professors or doctors introduces Shu Li saying, now for the star of the show. It's like,
yeah, it was actually a politician that did that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's
and
like,
baby Zoe's mum didn't appreciate that.
No, neither did I. I'm like, you're talking about babies' deaths here. And you're saying the star of the show. This is not a show.
No. Yeah, exactly right. So from what they were saying about this substandard care given by the hospital, the big wigs at the Countess of Chester Hospital, they don't like that too much. And they state that in every department, they're understaffed. But it was like that before and after Lucy's arrival and departure, and nothing has changed since. But they didn't experience the deaths like they did when Lucy was working there, just like you mentioned earlier. Dr. Dewey isn't happy either, and he states that Professor Lee hasn't provided any evidence, but rather an opinion. But isn't that what you've done, motherfucker? He is a professional dibber-dobber giving his expert opinion. Professor Shu Li is just doing the same thing. It's just going against what Dewey is saying. He does not like that at all. Yeah. So that Professor Lee finishes his statement to the media with what I believe is a bit of a bold statement.
Our conclusions of this panel, therefore, there was no medical evidence to support malfeasance causing death or injury in any of the 17 cases in the trial. There were serious problems related to medical care of patients at this hospital. There were problems related to teamwork and interdisciplinary collaboration at the Countess of Chester neonatal unit. In summary, ladies and gentlemen, we did not find any murders. If there was no murder, then there was no murderer. And so, why was Lucy Letby in jail?
So the report completed by Professor Lee and his gang of experts was entered into the Criminal Cases Review Commission just with the hope that it would be sent back to the Court of Appeal to push for a retrial. But until that day, Lucy Letby is still sitting in jail, serving her life sentence, and barring a miracle, she will remain there for the rest of her life. She was convicted on circumstantial evidence alone, but like, if it looks like a dog, barks like a dog, bugger me if it's not a dog, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So right at the end of the documentary, we see some text saying that in July 2025, the police submitted additional evidence to the Crown prosecution affecting 9 further babies. But in January 2026, it was announced that no further charges will be laid on Lucy Letby. So I'm not sure what this further evidence was. Obviously, it wasn't enough for the prosecution to go, you know what, we're going to stick another 9 on top of you.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I did a little bit more research as well. I found it interesting about the trial. Lucy actually refused to attend the court for her sentence hearing, meaning she didn't have to hear the family's victim impact statements.
What? How was that a thing?
Yeah. The judge said in court, this court has no power to require Lucy to attend. Lucy has not chosen to attend this hearing. Apparently, it didn't hold any weight to her sentencing, but after this, the UK government later introduced legislation referred to as Jude's Law to make it easier for courts to require offenders to attend sentencing hearings, although there's still practical and human right limits on physically forcing their attendance.
Was that named after Jude Law?
Must have been, yeah. He does it all. I thought that was crazy. Like, you could just, I mean, fair enough. Like, she was just sitting in a cell refusing to go. What are they going to do? Like,
well, that's it. What are you going to give me another life sentence? Yeah, that's the thing. She's already been put away for life. She's got no chance to get out.
Yeah.
This whole case is super, super sad. And you mentioned at the very start of this about people not sure. People are divided on this. And when you watch the first half of the documentary, at least, you're like, I don't get it. She looks so guilty.
Yep.
And coming into when we meet Mark, this defense lawyer, like, unfortunately for her, all these years later, it seems like it might be too late for her. Just showing how there is a lot of circumstantial evidence, but like I said, if it looks and barks like a dog, it seems too coincidental that all these babies died into her care. It had these weird liver and marble blood clots and the weird rashes
introduced
and the air.
into the bloodstream, and then the insulin as well, where I think even in one of her police interviews, she admits that the insulin that would have had to been done by somebody, but she doesn't know who it could have been.
That's right.
So even she admits that this must have been done by a person. You know, all fingers point to her. Like, if a tree falls in the woods just because no one saw it fall, like, doesn't mean it fell. Yeah, of course it does. Like,
yeah. That's it. And the handover sheets as well that were found inside her house in the box in chronological order, and the initials of the babies that had died as well in her diary. It's not like she had a love heart around it or anything. It's just, I don't know. I think they've got the right person. I don't know what your thoughts are.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're not on Team Lucy, people.
No, we're not. No. But I mean, if you guys...
Yeah, I was about to say, if you are on Team Lucy, send us a voicemail. We want to hear why you're on Team Lucy. Actually, Lucy, if you're listening, send us a voicemail.
Which is very common for the prisoners to be listening to True Crime Tradies.
Well, that's true. And I was about to say as well, like, jail isn't what it used to be. They're getting to watch TV. They're listening to podcasts. Fucking, you look at Mackenzie Sharilla. She just looks like she's living it up, not giving a fuck.
Oh,
living life on the fast lane.
In there. Yeah.
So
living life in the fast lane.
Just Limp Bizkit that's coming to my head out of nowhere. So, what did you think of the documentary overall?
I thought it was good. It was nice doing a one-parter. We've been doing a lot of three-parters. I don't think we've done any four-parters yet, but this one, it felt like after doing the notes, everything like that, I'm like, oh, that's it. It's done. We're ready to roll. So that was really nice. It was really succinct. They didn't go over a lot of information over again like you see in a lot of them. It was really good. And as we said before, classic Netflix. They sway you this way, then they quickly swing you the other way. Really, really good job. The only thing that I felt was bizarre was a few of the people didn't want to appear on camera, like Zoe's mum and Lucy's friend as well, who was standing by her.
Yeah,
But
we didn't talk about Lucy's friend at all. Like, we skipped by her. I didn't feel like she was really relevant to the story.
No, it just showed that she had supporters as well.
Yeah,
But and they didn't want their face on camera, which is fair enough. But instead of having it blacked out or their back turned to the camera or anything like that, they did animations of them, but they weren't like cartoon animations.
No.
They weren't close enough to be a realistic AI. They were like just a bizarre.
Well, initially, because it had digitalization on the top of the screen.
Yeah.
Initially, when I saw that, I thought, what, that person's not real. I thought it looked amazing. And I said to my wife, I go, that looks sick.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like AI now in 2026, where you're like, is that real? Or is
You
that,
don't think
is
so?
that
I
fake?
thought it did.
No way. It came
No
up and I
way.
was like, why is her hair so perfect?
Oh,
and then I
It's
realized.
funny you say that. You're such a woman, because my wife said the same thing. She goes, "There's no one's fringes are that neat."
Not such a woman, JB, you sexist. My wife is a hairdresser, so I'm
just
trained.
saying that blokes don't usually notice things like that. I know I don't. I know that. I'm not being
the husband of a
sexist.
hairdresser, I have to notice these things.
Yeah, that's true. You get quizzed on it. You get quizzed every week.
So what did you think of it?
Yeah, I'm like you. I really enjoyed it. I loved that not knowing exactly what to think by the end of it. I'm swayed. I mean, I was swayed, but my feelings at the end didn't really change. I still think she did it. It's just not so cut and dry as I'd like it to be. But no, really well made. Did love the one-parter, like you were saying, wasn't a three-parter, and hence the shorter than usual episode.
Yeah.
But mate, I think we're just about done with this one. I'm sick of talking about dead babies in this Lucy bitch. So what do we have next week?
Well, next week we've got a brand new one, which I'm really excited about, from Netflix. And this one is called A Toxic Love Story. Ooh. Oh, JB's excited. Ooh. So what did you name him?
Blow up, what did I say? Blow up bitch Chris.
Such a clever name.
Yeah, no, thank you.
You might remember this story with a twisted plot. A strange and violent stalking case.
A jealous wife, romantic rivals, blackmail.
I wish everyone would just tell the truth. Ian always wanted to be married and he wanted to have kids. Angela wanted the same things.
The smile alone, I mean, the smile was killer. She was just a sweetheart. 2-3 weeks go by, I proposed to her.
But then Ian tells me that Angela's been receiving these emails from someone called Lilith is Truth.
Crazy, threatening, violent, I'm gonna kill you emails.
They have this biblical undertone. We were thinking the exact same thing. Holy it's his ex, Michelle.
I do not hate Michelle. I have never hated Michelle. I just wanted her out of my life.
It slowly ratchets its way up.
She's been at my work. She knows what I look like.
She told me she wished she could burn this whole mother down.
And then something unbelievable happened.
911, what's an emergency? Somebody came from behind me and it started to choke me.
I started to question what her motive was.
There's so much deception and so much dishonesty.
It seems like I've been sleeping with the enemy.
We had an obligation to go back, to look at the case again.
I don't know if anything that I know about her is true.
Who is Lilith? That's the question.
I have never felt fear like that before.
Who's impersonating whom, pretending to be whom? I've never seen anything like this.
You don't know anything about my story.
So thanks again for listening to today's episode. Really appreciate the support. Speaking of the support, rate, review, Apple, Spotify, buy us a coffee, and then right after buying us a coffee, you can leave us a voicemail and we'll play it on the show. We're going to keep mentioning that because we're really looking forward to doing that, aren't we? We will do it around about this portion of the podcast that will make you listen to the whole thing so you can hear if you've been on the show or not. But yeah, do all those things. And up until next time, Chris, try not to murder anyone.
You too, mate. All right. Love ya.